Okay, let's talk about an issue that, quite frankly, is a personal issue of mine that I've had for years as a reporter and a resident of Mesquite. And, you know, I've been involved in following the city and government since 2007 as a reporter, and I continually, over the years, have seen where Mesquite seems to have this insular type attitude where, you know, that it's a go it alone, it's no, we don't bother the county, we don't bother the state. But I gotta say, I've watched a lot of money and a lot of services just fall off the table because Mesquite didn't go to the county and put some real hard pressure on them. They didn't go to the state and, you know, demand almost that we get what we're entitled to. And one of the examples I've used throughout these interviews is the issue that came up recently with funding the pickleball court complex. Now, I'm in favor of the complex. That's not the issue. But, you know, I sat and listened to the council debate over where the funding was going to come from. And they went to the RDA. They went to this community block grant program, which is, you know, all well and fine. But the county has an extremely large recreation services budget that rightfully some of that belongs to Mesquite because unlike most of the commissioners in the county, we are part, they don't realize we're part of the county.
I could tell you stories about that.
You know, they think the county line ends at Apex.
I know.
And the same with the state. You know, I see every year I get an email as part of the media that the state is giving out $1 million a year in grants for tourism. And the pickleball, so the reason I pick on the pickleball court complex as an example is because one of the selling features of it is it would promote our tourism.
Yes.
But there was never any talk at all
of going after tourism dollars.
Going after the tourism dollars. I see that money going to Winnemucca and Ely and Elko and Good Springs and, you know, all these other places. I have never seen a dollar of that come to Mesquite. So, you know, I'm so frustrated with it. And I just feel like, you know, the council and the mayor and the city staff, I know we just hired a grant writer and we have a very good grant writer in the police department with Kim Otero.
Yes.
And she has done a fabulous job. And we now have one on city staff, which I applauded when that was created. But it just seems like we continually don't demand what we're entitled to from the county and the state. Take it away.
Okay, I don't totally disagree with you. And that's one of the reasons we did bring in a grant writer that apparently knows what she's doing. She seems to be bringing us some grants. I don't get to see her very often. Obviously, she doesn't work for me. She worked for the city manager. I didn't even know when she was being hired, to be honest with you.
But it's not just grants.
No, I know.
You know, it's all these other pots of money and these services that we just don't get because I don't think we go demand them.
You're probably right. I can't disagree with that fact. But we've got to have some motivation also from the city council that says we need this or we want this. Example, the pickleball courts, that was held to the last minute and all of a sudden, well, you know, we're short $1 million whatever to finish this project properly. It just dropped on us, is that. Why? I don't know. I can't give you a good answer for that.
Yeah.
How do we fund those things? Personal opinion, I would say let's hold up the project till we can actually go out there and get money. And again, knock on doors. Who's got the money? You know, in the old days, you get somebody to put their own name up on it and said, you know, the Joe Blow pickleball courts. But that's no longer the case. But you're very right.
Well, do you feel that the mayor could play a role in, you know,
I think so.
going to the county, going to the state and saying, hey, guys?
Well, with the county, I deal with the county a lot. I deal with Mayoral Kirkpatrick quite a bit. It's difficult. I mean, I don't mind doing it, but when you ask, you get put off, and you get put off, and you get
Exactly.
You know, you can't grab them by the throat. It's not that type of doing business.
Oh, I'd like to.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'm kidding.
Believe me, there are some days I would love to also. In talking to the state, I was on the phone with the governor, and we had a conference. We had the governor, and I can tell you straight out, it's not confidential. The governor was on the phone. Mayoral Kirkpatrick was on the phone. Mayor March was on the phone. We were all asking for money. This was part of the COVID money. John Lee was on the phone with us, and Aaron. And the conversation was, Governor, you've got to help us out. And his comment was, I helped you out, and I'm doing it the right way. And I believe it was John Lee that said straight to him, he said, Steve, this is how he said, Steve, you disappoint us. We need this, and you're not giving it to us. And I'm not going to tell you what the response was from the governor.
No.
Yeah, it was not, yeah. And then the rest of the conversation went downhill after that, because Mayoral Kirkpatrick was worried that we wouldn't see any money from the governor, I think. And we terminated the conversation before it got too heated. But yeah, you know, I can go toe-to-toe with people if council wants me to. I'm more than happy to. And we've gone toe-to-toe, and sometimes we've been sort of successful, and sometimes it's no. And again, you got to step lightly with some of these people.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
You have to deal with personalities. We discuss this all the time, where I say, well, let's be a little more aggressive in trying to get this, and you hear, well, don't step on their toes or don't bite the hand that feeds you, because you're not going to get anything. This is a situation that I find myself. So yeah, you're caught between a rock and a hard place sometimes.
Yeah.
But it can be done. But, you know, if the council says, you know, Mayor, go out there and get that. But if I go out there and I'm doing something without the council's approval, it doesn't go well. You know, it's a team effort. Let's put it that way. It's a team effort.
Okay.
The lone wolf doesn't get too far.
Yeah.
I had a brilliant idea. I thought years ago, I got to go off topic a little bit with you real quick.
Okay.
Some people didn't like the idea. Most people did. And that's when I wanted to impose a tax on alcohol.
Yes, I remember that issue.
Because we knew that, you know, eventually the marijuana tax or fee would be in. And so I did all the research on it. And I thought, this is a great idea. We can bring in close to $1 million in a couple of years to Mesquite. This is found money. It wasn't going to cost any merchant a dime because it was an add-on at the register fee.
Right.
And I was totally rejected by the city council. It was a 5-0 vote. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And yet we have no trouble receiving that 3% from the marijuana. They're very happy, and you know, they're very happy to receive that, but they didn't want a liquor tax. At the same time, I was thinking about, why don't we add a tobacco tax? And I did all my research, and we were way lower in cigarette sale prices than anywhere else. Well, at that time, Governor Sandoval dropped a $1 per package tax on top of it. I said, you know what? You can push it so far, and then you're going to get too much resistance from the public. And but I went to Smith's several months later, and I said, tell me about the sale of cigarettes. Has it gone up, down, or stayed the same? It says it's up a little bit. This was after the dollar tax. So, in other words, here was a chance to get free money. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, 99% of those consumers that lease liquors, I know 99, but pretty high, are from Utah.
Yeah.
And they were going to buy the product and go home, and they weren't going to care if they spent $3 more per $100 worth of purchase. Rejected. Now, will I bring that back up this year if elected in office? Yeah, I think I will. Because it's time. Let's get our fair share of that money. Yeah. You don't have to go to the county for it. You don't have to go to the state for it. It just falls right into your lap.
Okay. Okay.